We've pretty much heard from unions, parents, as well as education authorities. We speak now to a pupil on what their expectation will be, not only for the address, but for the school calendar ahead. Thimna is a grade 12 pupil, and she joins us now to tell us what she is expecting. Thimna Ntlanga is her name and surname, and she's also with Equal Education. Hello, Sisonjani.
Hello, I'm good, thanks, Wena.
I'm right, Sisi. So your expectation, maybe let's start with what the Education Minister will have to say this afternoon. What is it that you want to hear?
Now, personally, I want to hear about the safety of us in the Western Cape. Not only that, but the school infrastructure in the Eastern Cape and the overcrowding classes in the Gauteng, the Limpopo, sanitation, in all these provinces. I want to hear her establish solutions instead of telling us that no, the government has not received enough money or the Department of Education has not received enough money. I expect her to give us solutions, and not only that, but I expect her to act accordingly and have a conscience as a mother to the children of the 9 schools of the 9 provinces in all of South Africa. I expect her to actually say, this is what we have, and we ask Minister Tito Mboweni as the Department of Basic Education to actually increase the amount that is given to education, because education has so many inequalities, and even though it's still democratic, there's little improvement in the education system. So I wish she could actually talk more about improvement, solutions, just to actually make us as students feel comfortable in school, feel comfortable in going to school, and actually have enough resources to say, I know this content, I've read it, and I know it.
You speak of inequalities and little improvement in the education department, and you say you want solutions, rightfully so. When you take a look at the state of schools, you mention school infrastructure in some of the rural parts of the Eastern Cape. Do you feel let down by the people who are leading you in this country?
I feel down, actually, because as a mother, she's Minister Njumotsecha, right? She's the Minister of Education. So when you're given the duties to be the Minister of Education, you pledge to protect and also serve as you serve the country, not only the country, but you breeding the country's raw materials, because we're raw, right? Because at the end of the day, we're going to study and then we still have to work for the country. So you have to be our mother. You have to protect us by giving us the rightful materials so that we can actually study, and not only that, but we can actually get knowledge, and start to work well within the country, because whenever you're given the duty of being minister, you are our mother, and the teachers at schools are also our mothers, but you our godful mothers. You make sure that we have the right infrastructure, like the norms and standards, law, school of infrastructure are completed, and we do not necessarily have to always follow you as our minister to say, this is what we need at school, this is what we not need at school, because the norms and standards, law of infrastructure is there to actually say, this is what the children should have and should not have in school.
Talk us through what you went through under this pandemic in grade 11 and your journey to get to grade 12, and what it is that you foresee the year has in store for you.
At grade 11, I was already struggling, right, at first term before the corona was actually in South Africa. So there was too much work in too little short space of time, right? So when it came to the COVID, I was already like down and out. I always lifted myself like, okay, you can do this, but I never really studied for any of the exams. And to be actually honest, I don't even know how I actually got to grade 12. But I didn't study, not that I didn't want to, but I didn't know what to study for, because at the first time I didn't have data to actually say, I'm gonna download this for this and this. I didn't have data. I did have the textbooks, but the textbooks were not so clear to me, and I couldn't understand all of the content, right? And the teachers, fine, they would send voice notes to WhatsApp, right? But voice notes to WhatsApp, you only listen to them for like about 2 minutes, and then the next 5 minutes you already say you're replying to messages, because you get messages while you're listening to the other messages. So it's not like I didn't want to study, but I did, but the resources were not enough for me. And not only that, but I didn't have some emotional support, if you get what I mean, right? Because it was me and my studies, and for me, I only chose, okay, let me just slip. So in grade 12, I want to create memories because this is my last year. There's a lot that I'm looking forward to. The valedictory, the matric ball, the certificates, and everything. I look forward to creating memories, not only memories, but I look forward to getting distinctions because I'm going to need them in order for me to apply for bursary or to get NSFAS. So I need distinctions to make my mark so that probably I could get a bursary.
What is it that you want to do after school?
I'm still confused because I was thinking chartered accountant, but in grade 10 I realized pure maths isn't for me, so I took maths literacy. But I'm still looking forward probably when we go to a career expedition so that I can actually get to know more about the careers that are in demand, because I would choose law, but I'm still doing accounting, and I'll probably get to varsity, study after varsity, and then after that I can't find work because there's no occupants to law. So it's not about doing what you like, it's about actually doing what the country can offer you, because when it comes to in terms of employment, there's a huge gap between unemployment and employment, and you realize the people who are unemployed, they have graduated from varsity but they're still sitting at home with their certificates because the jobs that they studied for are not in demand. So I'm still confused about what to do after varsity or high school.
Tingathetha nawe the whole day, Sisi, but unfortunately that's where we'll have to leave it. I'll tell you this, you are going to be just fine, and there's so much that the world has to offer you, and all the best of luck in your matric year. We wish you all the best and can't wait to see the amazing things that you're going to be doing. Thimna Ntlanga, a very sobering conversation from a young person who knows exactly what they want to see happen in their country.